Sarah always knew she was special. She had an inner power that she could feel and sense, but no one else could. She was an outcast among her peers, and her parents were dismissive of the idea. She wasn't allowed to speak about it for fear of upsetting the family balance. One day, Sarah was sitting alone in her room when an old, mysterious woman appeared out of thin air. She had sparkling eyes of a deep aquamarine colour and wore a hooded cloak that concealed her form. The woman spoke in an ancient language, and her voice had an odd, ethereal tone, which Sarah couldn't explain. She then pointed her finger to Sarah, giving her a knowing look. Sarah was intrigued and asked the woman who she was, to which she replied, "I am the Oracle. I have come to tell you that you are the chosen one, and it is your destiny to venture to the magical land over the horizon." Sarah was taken aback, but the Oracle told her not to fear, and that she was her destined guide. With that, she opened a portal and beckoned Sarah to follow her. Sarah stepped through the portal, and a blast of wind and light engulfed her. She felt light-headed, but when she opened her eyes, she was standing in a meadow filled with wildflowers and golden sunshine. The Oracle smiled and pointed towards the horizon, telling her of the kingdom she must go to. Sarah understood that she now had a new mission ahead, and so she set off towards the kingdom. Sarah marched through the unknown lands for days on end, following the Oracle's instructions. Finally, she reached the kingdom and entered the castle. At the front of the castle stood a tall and regal figure with a cape of white and gold and a majestic crown atop her long blonde hair. It was the Queen. The Queen spoke. "Welcome, Sarah. I knew you were the chosen one. You must take this sword and use its power to defeat the evil that lurks in this land. You are our only hope." Sarah took the sword and hesitantly walked towards the direction that the Oracle had instructed her to. For several days she traversed the kingdom, searching for the source of the evil. Finally, she stumbled upon a large cave and entered. Inside were multiple beasts, creatures of all shapes and sizes. At the end of the cave was the source, a giant dragon-like creature. Using the power of the sword and her own inner power, Sarah was able to defeat the creature and break the curse it had caused on the land. The Queen praised her bravery and thanked her for her great deed and offered her a reward. "You have saved our kingdom. In return, I will grant you 3 wishes." Sarah thought long and hard about her wishes and finally decided on her 3. The first was for her parents to accept her power, the second for a happily ever after, and the third for the Oracle to stay with her and be her guide forever. The Queen smiled and nodded. "Your wishes shall be granted." She waved her hand and a blast of light flew through the air, signaling that the wish was to be fulfilled. The Oracle told Sarah it was time for her to go home, so she said her goodbyes and stepped through the portal, emerging back in her bedroom. The family was amazed by the tale Sarah recounted and finally accepted her power, appreciating her for who she really was. The Oracle stayed with Sarah and served as a trusted guide, and Sarah lived a happy life, guided by the wisdom of the Oracle and the love of her family. Sarah was no longer an outcast, but a hero, one who saved a magical land and found her place in the world.
Comment below and subscribe to not miss the next story.